today, let's start off our defect of the week. Defect of the week, coming up with deck issues. So very rarely do I inspect a home where I come across a deck that is done perfect. Very rarely. It does happen occasionally, but very rare. But when we come across decks that are just a little thing here, they're not a big deal. But when we come across a deck where you put 10 people on this thing is coming down, we have major concerns, because people, it might look good up on top, but you don't know what's holding you up. And you're having your bar mitzvah out there or whatever, and then next thing you know, we're going down the hill pretty quickly. So the defect of the week, this was a house that I was over at in Slinger, Wisconsin, and it's rough. I'll just get into it. You guys can see some of this stuff. Now, when it comes to your columns, okay, you generally want to notch the top so that the beam can rest directly on the column, okay? But you got to have the whole beam on the column, not just part of it. You also need to have through bolts. They should go all the way through the deck, and they should be substantial. They shouldn't just be leg bolts. Wow. All right?
Carriage bolts.
We also should have hurricane ties on here, not just a screw. Carriage bolts is better than what they got in there. Should be on a substantial base, not just a little 8-inch sonotube with a shim on the bottom of it. In this case, it looks like they kind of miscut the shim a little bit or something. But, yeah, you can't just have a shim there, all right? In this one, the one we were just looking at before, you can see we have a crooked column. Retaining wall blocks.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Crooked column. We have a bowed-in crooked column, all right?
Wow.
Oh, that's attached there. Come on.
Wow.
Piece of wood. Again, another little shim area. You can't do this, people. This is not how we build decks. So no, this deck is 20 by 20. Been permitted. This is not have had a building permit pulled. On these beams and columns, not substantial enough, not secured properly, not working.
The cantilever on the outside is suspect.
Yeah. They gotta have that. Supposed to have it 2/3 in, 1/3 out. That's great. And inside, they didn't. They have a couple of nails. That's it. And I'm like, holy man.
Wow.
When you get into the underside here, you look at the bottom of this column. It's got a little shim on a too small of a sonotube. Right. The beam is not.
Look at how tall it is off the ground, too.
Like it's supposed to. Yeah. They don't have any through.
I could stand underneath this.
When that goes, that's a long way to go.
If there's a bunch of people on there.
Right.
Very obvious that you can see this columns are not doing what they're supposed to do. They had a problem, so they tried to shim one in there. I mean, my phone is not crooked, people. Okay? That beam and column aren't going to work. Wow. All right? We can also see the ones along the house over here, not even on the little 8-inch sonotube all the way, And as far as this all goes, yes, we're built into hill, but you still need to dig down and get proper sonotubes in there and have proper securing to the structure, okay, for the columns and beams and stuff. And they just don't. We're just missing so many pieces here. And then when you get into the joist
where's the ledger board?
It's not attached to the house at all. They butted the end of the joist right up against the house.
It's just self-sustained, just on its own.
Standing on those 6 sticks you see coming down.
Into the home.
Those ones on the end actually went into the house, but weren't secured at all. But the ones in the middle,
1/3 out, 2/3 in. Never more than 1/3 out. Okay. That is a hot mess, and it was, needless to say, quite the eye opener for the prospective buyers. And I mean, it's a newer house. You're looking at a house built in 2006. So yeah. While I don't inspect for building code in 2006 existed, and in Slinger they have a building inspector that should have inspected that thing. So there was no way that was ever inspected or anything like that. It was not constructed by a professional, obviously. Wow. And it's the time of year where everybody's going out, and guess what? They want to build a deck, right? Decks are great. Decks are awesome. It's just that you need to do it the right way. Now, one of the things that you can do to ensure that you do it the right way, get a building permit. The building inspector is going to make sure that you meet the minimum standards for construction of that deck and making sure then that everybody going onto the deck is very safe. As you can imagine, somebody going onto the deck that we were just looking at, I mean, if you're up on top, the railings look good, the balusters are good, it's nicely stained, the boards are spaced the right distance and everything, the railings are the right height, But the underside, what's holding up all that weight of all that wood, not to mention the people and stuff, it's like, holy cow, that's going to be a headache. But one of the downsides of being the home inspector that came in and inspected, I don't find out what happened afterwards. I don't find out if somebody came in and made repairs. I don't know if I know what the cost of the estimate of the repairs were, or anything like that. It's repairable. I mean, ultimately, to fix that, you'd have to secure it in its position, and then you'd have to add in the elements that are missing and make some improvements. So not the end of the world, but still significant cost to repair. More significant if you don't repair it, though, and people get injured.
Especially with something that size, you'd think they'd want to overbuild, right? Like have it way more safe, I guess, for the amount of people that could be on a deck that's 20 by 20.
Yeah.
You could get a lot of people on that deck, and that'd be a lot of weight. So I don't know. It just seems like you'd want to overbuild.
And a deck can be a great enhancer to the value of the property,
Right.
But when you don't do it correctly, it's a detractor, So that is the deck issues defect of the week. Hey, thanks for tuning in today, you guys. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to know when we put out the next one, give me a bell notification. It's a little bell on the bottom right-hand side. And subscribe. You want to know when I'm coming out with new stuff, whatever. You want to be able to check us out and be alerted to new video content coming your way. Subscribe button's really the way to go. Thanks again for tuning in, you guys. Remember, the better you take care of your house, better it's going to take care of you. Have a good one.